Thank the Force. We are back Thursday nights. Star Wars is at live. Best of John Williams this week. And happy Halloween. And no, I am not on the wrong stream. I know this is a Star Wars stream. My students asked me to be Harry Potter at school today because we're doing like a Harry Potter unit. So I was Harry, and we just got done doing the whole trick-or-treating thing at home. Packed all the candy away. Do you guys like pass out candy like at in your neighborhoods? Jay's a curmudgeon, so no, I'm just kidding, Jay.
There's not
Luke,
many kids that come by.
Luke, are you passing out candy in the where I know you live? It's like the apartment complex where you live, but like, are there trick-or-treaters around there?
We absolutely passed out candy today. I can say we went over to a friend's house who is in the next kind of neighborhood over, but I was doing that for 2 hours with my dark saber. I was just repping some Star Wars stuff. Not going too crazy with the costume, but
very nice.
Exactly.
I have a few things about Halloween. One, I left my friends, like my roommates, we were out passing out candy, and I went inside real quick to get some more water. I come back outside, and my roommate, God bless him, is passing out candy, just handing candy to I'm guessing 16 to 18-year-old who has a beard, wearing pajama pants and a t-shirt, walking around with a paper set. And I told him, I said, we're not handing candy to these people. No, you have to earn it. Like, you need to wear something, dress up somehow. And I get it. Not a lot of their costumes can be expensive, but there's a difference between not being able to afford a costume and doing no effort, giving no effort. Like, no, that's the pajama pants and a t-shirt, and you're just walking around. What is that? Like, who are you? I'm not giving you candy. Like, not a chance. Not unless there is like a statute of limitations on, when you are allowed to freeload candy on Halloween. Like, once you have passed, like, oh, you're the cute elementary kid age, like, then the statute of limitations is over. And honestly, once you get to like 4th and 5th grade, I need to see some effort. Like, you need to do something. Okay, you got to show me that you want it, or at least come up and be like, trick or treat, how are you doing? Like, be nice about it. Like, this kid walking over, he's got the sack and he just holds it out, and I watched my roommate just drop the candy. It was a disgrace. We shut that nonsense down when I got there. If I saw a kid walking up, no costume, and they look to be, in middle school or older, I'm sliding that bucket away. Like, I'm pulling the bucket away, and I just kind of wave and say, have a nice evening. Like, no, we're in this. Halloween is not free candy night. You have to put in some effort. That's what I ask.
I saw my fair share of those as well. There were some lackluster costumes, but hey, there's also with that some great ones.
I didn't say lackluster costume. I'm talking no costume. We're just walking around in our pajama pants and a t-shirt, and we're just expecting me to hand you something.
Now, what would you do?
$62 on candy.
What would you do if those specific ones you're talking about right there, pajama pants and a t-shirt, what if they tried to come up like 3 times and get candy multiple times from you?
Then I would say, hey, have we, learned our lesson by now? It's not happening. I like that Nick Saban me, it's not happening. Quit asking.
It's not, yeah.
It's not happening. So quit asking. Like, it's not, no. Like, I would be like, are you one of those like students at school that shows up on our every Wednesday in my classes? I only assign one thing of homework a week, and it's like they have to answer this reading reflection question once a week. It's literally, I'm asking them to write 4 sentences a week. Like, we're not talking like we're not breaking the bank here in terms of homework. And sometimes my lovely students, who I love, me, I talk about my students all the time in very positive ways, will come and be like, oh, I didn't know we had to do that this week. And I'm like, we're on week 12, sweetheart. Like, we're on week 12, sir. Like, we've done this 12 times in a row. I mean, at some point, that's what I think when those kids, if they came around the 3rd time with the bag. No, not a chance. I did see some great costumes this evening. And like I said, you're not wearing a costume. I'm still handing you candy if you there's a level of like the
You
age
can
that
still
you have
earn
to
it.
meet. You have to earn it. You have to earn it. Anyway, so Jay, you don't really have like a lot of trick or treating going on around where you are.
Yeah, well, thankfully, also
Granted,
I'm
it's like only
not.
what 6 o'clock over there right now,
It's
so
4 o'clock right now.
4 o'clock. So like trick or treating hasn't even begun.
No,
Then
well, thankfully too. Like, well, also like I'm a non-denominational Christian, so like I don't celebrate Halloween, so I don't even, like have like any candy outs. So thankfully, like there aren't many kids that come by because otherwise it's kind of awkward saying like, oh, sorry, don't have candy, and but yeah, I just have to like tell them like, sorry, don't got candy out here. Go to another place. Go to another apartment.
there was a rant I saw on this person said that he puts a beware of dog sign in front of his house to ward off any children from trying to come up to his door on Halloween. I'm not that bad. But I will say you got to earn your candy. So I have a Star Wars themed Halloween scenario for us. Hufflepuff. This is Harry Potter Manslayer. This is Gryffindor.
Oh yeah,
Gryffindor.
the glasses.
My father is. I'm actually a Slytherin. So I have like a Slytherin like banner that hangs up in my classroom, and I just am begrudgingly wearing the Gryffindor colors because my students asked me to, because they literally told me I look like Harry Potter, and I have no idea. And I said like an older Daniel Radcliffe. They said no, you
Yeah,
look like the
actually,
kid
yeah.
from Sorcerer's Stone, like right now. And I'm like, what do you like? They tell me I look like 11-year-old Daniel Radcliffe. No, I was a little offended. I tried to take it in jest
They are
because
certainly creative.
you must have a thick skin in the middle school teaching game, or you won't last
For
more than
sure.
3 or 4 days for sure. You won't last long. So I have a Harry Potter themed Hogwarts Star Wars Halloween. My father is a Hufflepuff manslayer. He would be offended at this, even though you're 100% correct. He would be offended at that. But I will say, I have a Halloween themed question for us. Okay, we are trapped in a haunted space station of some kind in the galaxy, right? Haunted space station. Think of like, Tales from the Death Star or something, comics, that have been written by like Kevin Scott or something. Okay, we're haunted space station. You are trapped there with 2 other Star Wars individuals. Now, there are hauntings going on. There are spirits at play. There's obstacles, and there are things you have to survive in order to get through, the night, to survive the haunted space station until your friends can come and get you. Who would you choose to survive the evening with? Like, who are the 2 people that you feel like in the Star Wars galaxy are best equipped to help you survive, like the Star Wars equivalent of a haunted house, or as we might call in Star Wars, a Jedi temple? Who would like to go first?
2
I
people.
can take it.
2 people. 2 people.
Got it.
Luke.
We are going with Luke Skywalker and Chewbacca. I think they're both very, and I'm talking Luke Skywalker, Return of the Jedi, maybe post Return of the Jedi, just slightly. I think he's got his head on straight, and Chewbacca is also very calm under pressure. So I think maybe I could be a little frantic and scared, and they've got my back. They'll lead the way.
Okay. Chewie, fantastic choice. Luke, I don't know. I'll be honest. Like, I feel like Luke. What time period did you say?
Return of the Jedi, maybe post Return of the Jedi.
Post Return of the Jedi. Okay, maybe post Return of the Jedi. I could get on board with a little bit. I don't know. Luke's always struck me like he gets a little frightened and he freaks out about anything. He I don't know. I feel like the lights would start flickering and the lightsabers getting ignited immediately, kind of thing. But
he's also at this point he's assuming post Jedi, he's already dealt with the most evil being in the galaxy, like Emperor Palpatine. Like he should be well weathered for anything else to come. Like he should He should be
You
fine.
say that, and there will be a lot of people who watch The Last Jedi who would point to that film and ask you if Luke was well weathered for anything to come. Luke, as a Last Jedi supporter over here, I would just say there might be some people that go up in arms at that comment.
Well, The Last Jedi is not canon to me, so actually, no, I'm joking. It's a good point, but no, I'm still sticking with my boy.
He said,
Gotta,
"Good point."
gotta stick with me. You're not swaying me from that.
Very good. Jay, two people. I like Manslayer's. I like what he's got here. Yes.
So for me, I'm gonna like if I'm stuck in that kind of situation, I'm thinking you kind of have to go on the offense, and you have to go with people who are going to actually scare the monsters away, not just stand back and defend against the monsters. So I'm going with
Fair.
two monsters I think that are pretty scary. Number one, Wicket. I think that anyone who plays Ewok
I don't
Hunt
know
on
if that's a
Star-
compliment or disrespect.
anyone who plays Ewok Hunt on Star Wars Battlefront 2 or like the recent one knows that like the Ewoks can be pretty scary. So I think Wicket will do a good job of scaring away some of those evil spirits or the other monsters that might lurk in the night. And then the second one, I'm gonna have to go with Rook, which is yes,
That's a
Rook.
monster.
Wow.
Oh yeah, for sure. Notice I picked the little small guys too. So I'm gonna have Rook, who is of course Grand Admiral Thrawn's bodyguard. Pretty great and pretty scary too, actually.
So I love Rook. That's pretty funny. And I feel like he'd be pretty solid. Rook pretty solid. But I would just worry that in a pinch, like Rook would 100% push me in front of a monster to save his own skin instead of like help me out. My first one will sound like lunacy, but I think you'll know where I'm going. Jar Jar Binks 100% belongs here. Now here's why. Number one, loyalty. 100% loyalty. Two, if the people that you mentioned are extremely capable beings, far more capable than any of us, like their capabilities far outstrip. I need someone. It's like if there's the old adage of all I need to do is be able to outrun the slowest person to survive. Jar Jar would 100%, if it came down to it, would be so clumsy or do something. I know he would like get himself eaten or killed before me. Like I could out survive.
I was gonna
say like
Jar Jar is the guy you throw to wolves to sacrifice so that you don't get eaten.
But no, you wouldn't even have to. Like he would accidentally do that himself.
Absolutely.
So 100% like Jar Jar is on my team. One, for the vibes, but two, because I feel like I could 100% outlast him if it comes to something like that. So the next one, and this will come as no surprise to anyone, I am with Manslayer. Like I would want like Leia Organa. Like give me General Leia Organa, someone that has absolutely no fear. She will do whatever needs to be done. Her mother was able to handle Jar Jar Binks, so I'm sure she can handle Jar Jar Binks in this scenario. I know that she is going to be practical. I know she's going to do the best she can to help me survive as well. And I feel like with Leia, she's not messy. Like there's no messiness with Leia. Like she does what needs to be done the most efficient way she can. She's calculated. She can be cold and cruel when she needs to be to get something done, but also she has a massive heart as well. So she will be okay with me bringing up the rear in certain situations or being very frightened because anything involving spookiness is not up my alley. So I would go with Leia Organa and Jar Jar, and I feel really good about this. So anyway,
so pretty good.
I'm glad we could get into like the Halloween like spirit here. If there was one character that you would not want to haunt you, Like, who would be the most frightening character to haunt you in this scenario? Like, if there's ghosts of Star Wars, who would be the person if they popped up to frighten, like to try to scare you? Who are you not wanting to see around that corner? That might be a tough one.
I feel like Darth Maul. He's kind of just like the
that's a good one.
Sisyphus of Star Wars. Like he'll just never stop. He's also like inspired, like creatively was designed to just kind of like be like what people envisioned the devil to look like. So he is terrifying. I don't want to be near that dude ever. In any capacity ever.
Definitely a frightening foe. Jay, do we have an idea?
Yeah,
Who we not want to see?
It'd have to be Darth Vader. I mean, can you imagine just like going around like hallways and then like constantly hearing the deep breaths and the the mechanical breathing and the footsteps?
I watched Empire Strikes Back. Like that's like a horror film at times, right there.
Yeah,
like when
for sure.
they're doing like that's terrifying. So I'll take a different approach here because I am less scared of like those type of figures. You know what freaks me out? Clowns. Like clowns freak me out. And I'm trying to imagine, and like bear with me here, like a clown ghost version of As Morgan from Rebels. Like imagine you're trying to sleep and you wake up and see a ghost version of this giant hunkering comedically like creepy orange figure. Like that would like I'd like pee my pants right there.
I need
like
my
I'd be done.
Melurans.
He's like, hello, something like that would just be too much. Like I couldn't handle something like that. As Morgan kind of freaks me out in general. Like I don't vibe with him as a character too much. Like that
the
would
worst
that would be.
Jablogian.
You know who the last person you'd want in this situation is on your side is Hondo Naka. So that's like the last person you want. He's selling you to the ghosts to make a profit. And speaking of Hondo, I have one last question for us before we get in. Skeleton Crew is starting up in just a few weeks. Okay. We are a month out basically from Skeleton Crew, essentially. And it's the pirate show. We have all these pirates that are, going to be, bopping in. Between Maz Kanata, who is our sequel pirate queen, and Hondo Onaka, who is like our animation pirate king, which one do you think is more likely to make a brief cameo appearance in Skeleton Crew? I think both are possible to make a Skeleton Crew appearance. 100% both are possible. But if you had to pick one that you think that they're going to like put in for just a little cameo as like maybe the person that helps them find their way somewhere, Maz Kanata or Hondo Onaka making their way into Skeleton Crew, which one would you bet your, Republic credits on?
Well, before they get transferred to Imperial credits, my Republic credits are going to be bet on Maz Kanata. I think they have used this space after Return of the Jedi to seed things for the sequel trilogy decently. I think they're going to use Maz here. I would love Hondo.
Would you like Hondo or Maz more?
Just like personally, like
just personally, yeah.
I have more love for Hondo more. We've spent more time with him in Clone Wars and Rebels, and Rebels he is lovable. In Clone Wars he is kind of harder and harsher. I love Hondo more. I think that they're going to, if they're going to pick one of those two, I think they're going with Maz. She feels a little bit more like the character to use as like oh, you're lost, huh? Well, I know the way to get out of here. It's that way. It's like she's kind of just like a sign pointer sometimes. So
100%.
Kind of, yeah.
I feel that. Maz makes sense. Jay, what about you? Are you on the same wave as Luke or?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I think that I'd love Hondo as well. Like Hondo personally, he's my more favorite character. But I think like having Maz Kanata just makes more sense, even just on a timeline sense. Because yeah, like what Luke was mentioning. Also too, yeah, I mean, Hondo Anaka is kind of getting old, and he's kind of getting up there, right? So it'd probably be best to like include a character who probably will be more utility wise more useful to the story.
I tend to agree. However, I think this answer would be easier if personally, like I want Hondo more, but it's not out of a lack of love for Maz. I just hate what happened to Maz in The Last Jedi. Like I love The Last Jedi. It's one of my favorite Star Wars films, but that was something I really didn't like. It just felt like they felt forced to throw her in somehow and do that. But part of me is it's more of a, Lupita is just such an amazing like actress, and we don't really get to see her act necessarily. So I'm kind of like butthurt about that too. And like Maz, I think, like you said, makes the most sense timeline wise. We're plugging some sequel stuff, but think about like Galaxy's Edge at Disney. Like Hondo is all over Smuggler's Run. They have his animatronic. Like he's in the mix hard at the parks. So it could be an easy like park, plug for them as well. Like let's put, this guy here. You bring back, was it John Simons, right? Or Simmons? Is it Simons or Simmons?
Talk about the voice actor?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I'm blanking. I know.
I'm blanking as well.
So you could easily, I think, get him back to do that. But Maz makes, like you guys said, like makes more sense given like the sequel, like trilogy, like adding things up. I just wish that we had gotten more from Maz as the movies went on. Not that she needed a large role, but we had just a very brief little hologram interaction with her in Last Jedi, and then in 9 she was there for just a moment, and kind of like, oh, you're here now kind of thing, instead of just okay, it makes sense that you're here.
Jim Cummings is the voice actor for Hondo.
Okay, I was on the right track, maybe, I guess.
It makes sense.
I'll give myself 30% credit. It's okay.
Disney has used him quite well in their parks, so and their parks drive maybe most of their income. So, I mean, maybe it makes the most sense. Like, hey, most of you, maybe a lot of you have seen this character. You would know him more or connect with him more. Maybe we're going to use him. I could see it.
That's fair. Okay. I look forward to this show bringing us all the pirate joy. Isn't the guy's like Captain Brutus or something? The Shastavian guy, like the werewolf guy. That's the one I want to see. That's the one I'm excited for. Like, I hope he is awesome. I can't wait to see that one. Do you guys have a specific pirate that they've shown so far you're looking forward to more than others, or are you just kind of like, we'll see it when it comes out?
The Jaleel White pirate, I want to learn more about. I want to see what he's all up to.
A little cyborg pirate-ish.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Yeah. I think so. Jay, do you have a pirate you're looking forward to more, or are you just kind of waiting for the show to come out and then just kind of vibe from there?
I'm actually looking forward to more of this actual creature. Hang on, I'm gonna bring him up, because when I saw this, I was like, really? Like, they're gonna bring this guy back? Hang on, let me bring it.
He's gonna put a picture of Meeber in there or something. Like that's what I'm waiting for.
Well, I don't know, dude. This thing, Skeleton.
Oh, Teak.
Yeah. Skeleton Crew will bring back Teak from Ewoks movies, and I'm like, what a deep dive, right? I saw that. I'm like, really?
Teak
Ewok movie? So here's the report up.
That's insane.
I'm gonna be very intrigued how they work this guy in.
Teak looks beautiful. I can't wait to see more puppets. And who was that little? Did they have a name for the little green guy, like in the picture where Neil looks like he's falling asleep? And I'm talking about the one where Neil looks like he's falling asleep in class, and then there's like the little green alien that's like.
I know which one you're talking about.
I was ready to pick that guy up and just like take him home and adopt him. Like, I was like ready to give my life for that guy. I'm a Neil stan. I was ready to push Neil to the corner and just go all in with our green little like googly-eyed buddy there. Like I was just ready. I don't know. I was just falling in love with the kids.
Yeah, no, I mean, they haven't shown off like hang on, they haven't shown off any of the like. These are some of the photos they've shown off. You know, just pointing
Right.
up some stuff. They haven't shown off the one alien you're talking about.
All I know is that he's just barely in the frame. It was like one of those
Yeah.
where he just kind of is there because it's mostly about Neil, which Neil has hair. And that was
Yeah.
something that
I thought that was funny too. Like, look at that hair. Look at that tuft of
Yeah.
hair. That's funny.
it's something else. It's something
Yeah.
else. But we're not that far away because we'll see what happens with this show. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be what it is, and you know that's that. But I'm excited because we do have not new Star Wars this week, but something as intertwined to Star Wars as it can be without actually being Star Wars. And that is the music by John Williams documentary that I believe drops tomorrow on Disney Plus, November 1st. And I will not be able to watch this weekend because I'm flying to Oklahoma tomorrow after school for a friend's wedding this weekend. So I'll be gone. So I won't be able to watch until hopefully Monday night. I want to watch this as soon as I can. And I just wanted to talk tonight and do like a fun little best of John Williams podcast because there is no Star Wars without John Williams. As much as there is no Star Wars without George Lucas, I feel just as strongly that there is no Star Wars without John Williams, just because imagine watching these movies without the iconic, compositions and scores that make them, so powerful, so beautiful. I know that there are certain musical themes that hit when we watch these movies or just hear them on our phones or in public somewhere that immediately just goosebumps, immediately put you in your feels. But beyond Star Wars, no one has had an impact like this man when you think about the totality of his work. And so I am really excited to watch this documentary. So Jay, I know I sent you like my best of like my favorite, John Williams, moments. Luke, please share some of like your favorite John Williams pieces tonight. Jay, were you able to get a list of some of yours as well? I'm sure.
Yeah, no. So we're gonna do something for all of you watching. We're gonna play some clips. We'll probably play like 10 to 30 seconds, enough to get a sense of like what we're talking about for maybe those who need a refresher. But hopefully we don't get copyright striked. If we do, it's not going to be a big deal. I mean, we maybe lose like a few dollars at the most. So hopefully, again, like Lucasfilm doesn't copyright strike our this video. And I don't know.
To celebrate, we'll be fine.
Yeah. Hopefully, it falls under fair use as well. I think it should. But yeah, no. You two can actually like
whoopee.
You two can actually even just like go ahead and just mention what tracks you want to hear, and then I'll be happy to pull it up too.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay. So I sent you like a list. Do you have those ready?
Yeah.
I have a few.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just play the first one. Play whichever one you feel inclined first.
Ooh,
in the chat.
okay.
Let's see if we can like do a guessing at who can get it first, sort of thing.
All right. Let me go ahead and
once you have it. See how long it takes Luke to maybe get some of these.
I have it up, and here we go. Let me know if you guys can also hear it or not.
Yes, that would be important. Granted, we can see the line from the video, of course, but I cannot hear anything, by the way.
Oh, what?
So I'm not sure. You might have to check your odd on that.
All right. There we go.
Well, yes, we'll try this one more time.
So actually, yeah, let's talk about this first one though. I mean, because it is like a.
If not, I can play a rendition via voice.
Oh no, I see. I see what the issue is. I got to what's it? StreamYards does not like me using Safari, so I have to use Google Chrome. So that's
you're on Safari right now. We gotta get you on the
Safari.
Chrome. You gotta get on the Chrome.
I don't, dude.
Okay,
I'm
I'll
an
talk
Apple
about it
guy.
while you do that.
Yeah. Let's talk about it.
So while Jay's doing that, we're gonna do race theme first. When I sent him my personal like list of like my top John Williams Star Wars compositions. You know, a lot of people's first ones I feel like that come to mind maybe are Duel of the Fates, Battle of the Heroes, the main theme, the Force theme. Obviously, I almost don't even want to include the Force theme, but for me, it's Rey's theme. Like Rey's theme is just absolute perfection. I think that there is there we go. You can pump it up a little louder.
I think I think we can even just like if you want, like, you know, have it like talk about it even while it's playing in the background.
No,
you
that's
know,
perfect.
that way, like, also
Just-
too, like, you know, like, hopefully, like, YouTube won't pick up on the copyright too, so that, you know, if we're talking over it, like, I'm
Fair
pretty sure
enough.
YouTube's gonna be like, oh no, you're good. So
Fair enough.
But
The
yeah.
reason I love Rey's theme so much, and tell me what you guys think, is because I feel like Rey's character is so much of a similar to Luke. Like she wants to know what's out there. She wants to see what is in the galaxy, and there's just like unbridled like yearning for more and enthusiasm
Yeah.
and wonder. And with the way it starts with the flute, I just
Yep.
thought that was just such a beautiful way to encapsulate like that feeling of where she's at the beginning of her journey. And then obviously as that theme continues, how it grows more and more like powerful and more strong throughout. And that's exactly how Rey's journey goes, to where it feels like with the flute at the beginning, like she's finding her place in the galaxy. And by the end, it, you know, she has found it. And even in like, you know, the Rise of Skywalker, we see, you know, her theme is now interlaced with even like the Force theme. It's interlaced with, you know, other pieces as well, and like to meshes into this one powerful singular unit, which, you know, is Rey at the end of this. This one just every time I get goosebumps. The first time I heard it when I saw Force Awakens, I fell in love, and it's part of the reason why I love Rey's character so much, I think. And I think that plays a big role in terms of like sometimes the music helps make the character.
I agree. No, I mean, like, you took the words right out of my mouth, which is like the sense of longing and the sense of like loneliness too, because, you know, it is a lone flute at the beginning, but even like this section where it swells, right, you do get a lot of that like loss feeling with the like minor chords, and then the different shifts in you know, tempo and in the keys. So yeah, it's a very it's very iconic for that the character, for sure.
I just every sound of this theme I just love. Luke, are you a big Rey's theme guy?
Yeah, I am. I don't know if I can add anything more than what you said, because I think that nailed it. Like the way that the song starts, the middle, the end is indicative of her character arc throughout the sequel trilogy. Whether they knew that or not when John Williams was composing it, probably not. But as the Force would have it, that is how we got it. And I think that's beautiful that it just played out that way. Yeah, her, you know, the flute instrument there at the beginning, it's just kind of historically always been used for like the moments in the story where you're kind of inquisitive, you don't know what's out there. So I mean, it's a perfect use of the instrument, and it just works so well. It's such a nice, honestly, song. So
matches, I just feel like it matches Daisy's performance and Rey's character so well, and just for where she is at the beginning, like with when it's going with her speeder and she's, you know, going just across the sands of Jakku, to the very end of Rise of Skywalker when they interlace, you know, her theme much more like powerfully and pronounced as she's making her way back from Exegol. Rey just has my heart. I cannot wait. We got to get the script right. We got to get the right writers in here. We got to get the best directing team possible. We got to get Daisy ready to go. We got to get John Boyega back on board, because I cannot wait to hear this theme again in theaters someday. It is going to be a magical experience. Jay, should we keep the Star Wars tunes rolling? Like the Star Wars tunes rolling? Jay has muted himself, so unfortunately for us, but we will carry on.
Oh, sorry, I didn't even realize my mic was even muted. My bad. Yeah, feel free to just like list off, you know, the music. Even list it in the chat. I'll bring it up. So
Yes.
Which one?
Let's
Where do you want to
get
go, Tyler?
I'm gonna take this off now. I'm sorry. I cannot. I'm like sweating right now, and I feel like I got like the eyes, like the glasses are sweating
Yeah.
from
I
my
fast as
my
fuck,
face. So let's go with my second one here. This is my second one I put for Star Wars. I didn't even include the Force theme because I felt like the Force theme was too obvious of
Yeah.
amazing. Like who doesn't hear the Force theme and get hyped? Like there's a dozen places in Star Wars you could point to and be like, that was the moment. So I put the throne room at the end of episode 4, when the triumphant victory over the Death Star, we have destroyed it. I think this one gets like underrated now because we talk about, Duel of the Fates. Rey's theme is obviously really talked about now with the sequels, the Force theme, the main title. I think Across the Stars is another one that gets played a lot. But I think we kind of forget about this one because most of the other movies kind of end with the Force theme or something like it now, versus this one was very much a very triumphant ending that was less, the Force theme I feel like is much more magical and more fantasy driven, while this one just felt like pure power punching, adrenaline rushing. I am super pumping my fist at the end because we just beat the Empire, and I just love this one. It's my favorite ending to any movie. Just
It's great. It's great. Yeah, for sure.
and you watch this. How do you not like see Luke's like smiling right there? Like Luke is
he's
smiling.
like, you can just picture the scene.
You
Yeah,
see
absolutely.
them walking down. They're getting their medals. I can see Han.
I
Just
can
winking
literally-
to
yeah.
Leia. It's just it's the best because the others all end with the Force theme for the most part, and the Force theme, is fantastic. Like who doesn't love that? But I think there's something to be said about for this first one and John just going for it. And I feel like with the sequels, like how they end sometimes with the Force theme, a lot of times I feel like it's almost too basic. Like I want some of these unique, endings at the end of Star Wars. I knew that episode 9 was going to end with, our typical ending. I was hoping for something new and something different, just like taking back to episode 4 with this one. This is just the best, finale for like Manslayer said, for anything. Play this at the end of a school day. Play this on Fridays as you're leaving work. Like you're going to feel pumped up.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
It's got a lot of like really cool like moments too, where like you have the beginning with the trumpets, and then it kind of dies down, and then it comes back up like for this section. So it's got a lot of like really cool like weaving in and out, like different parts and different moments. Yeah, so it's really cool. Ending section for sure.
I will say I love Jedi steps. Manslayer dropped Jedi steps in there. I do love Jedi steps. I'm not as big into Imperial Attack. I'll be honest. But let's play some. Jay, why don't you play some Imperial
Yeah,
Attack, and then we can
absolutely.
do that. I feel like Luke's gonna be like. I feel like Luke's a big Imperial Attack guy. I don't know. I just get a vibe that when we play this one.
I do have a dark horse here for you when we're ready.
Oh, I want to hear this one soon. Okay, hang on.
I don't know. Maybe it's not, but I just feel like it's probably not one that people will normally point to.
What is it?
For me,
Yeah.
what gets me hyped is.
All right, hold on. Never mind. Wait.
You can put it. You can even put it in the chat. Like put it in our private chat. Yeah, private chat, and then I'll pull it up in a second. But here's Imperial.
No,
Attack.
I'm not gonna look. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna be surprised.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'll be surprised. Let's get some Imperial Attack going.
Yeah, this one's good too. I like. Yeah. Also, like, it was really cool. Like, if you guys, I don't know if you guys have played Star Wars Outlaws just yet, but they play like this like sort of like variation on this like this theme, and then even like when they're like going through like the Imperial base and like the Death Star. So like it's really, I'm glad that they even are still using like variations of this music to this day.
That's true. This one though, to me, I get I feel tense, you know, when I'm watching this or when I'm listening to this one.
a good point,
And like
yeah.
during the scene, you know, you're getting a little more tense. I guess for me, the ones that I get drawn in more to are the ones that are going to fill me with, you know, the fist pump, or
Yeah.
I'm gonna get deeply almost like yearning myself, or emotional and contemplative. I think like contemplative, like the reason why Across the Stars is my wild cards is because I
Yeah.
listen to that one and I immediately just I get emotional thinking about what could have been or what should have been between Anakin and Padme. And
Mm.
I can't listen to Across the Stars and not immediately just, you know, have some sense of melancholy as well.
Yeah,
Luke,
it's a good
I
point.
cannot wait. I would love to see what we
This
got
one,
cooking here.
this
Okay.
one
Yub
just
Nub? Are we getting Yub Nub?
we are getting It's actually not Yub Nub.
It's
But,
not Yub Nub. I know Jay
Um,
loves Yub Nub.
I
I
have
actually
failed.
don't.
I have failed to.
Well, I know
not
you
get
don't. I know
goosebumps
you don't.
during this. Every single time I hear this, I picture the scene it's coming from, and I get
Trying to think.
goosebumps every
I'm
time
trying-
because it's maybe one of the most just BA things in Star Wars.
I'm
And
wondering, is it
I don't
is it
talk about this
Kylo?
very often at all.
Is it
I probably
Kylo's
have-
theme?
I've probably never
March of the
mentioned this.
that's what I was gonna guess next. That's what I was gonna guess next.
Because we have everything has gone wrong on Takodana. Everything has erupted. But all of a sudden, it's the resistance from Han Solo. You turn, and it's Poe Dameron doing the most VA X-Wing flying that you've ever seen on screen, ever. He's destroying.
hell of a pilot.
Exactly. Like, it's
yes.
perfect.
That is underrated. It does not get talked about. It does not get talked about enough. Like that moment is pretty awesome. And, you know, they're having their hands over their heads. We're looking like it's gonna be gone. And the way it starts so solito. And it just builds up the hype for the Resistance. And this is the first time we see the Resistance too.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you know, it was just a great entry. So I love the way you said that, Luke, about how, you know,
It's the
everything's gone
Resistance.
wrong. And then this is the first time that we get the seeds of what the hope is, like the spark, you know, that's gonna, like the fire that burns the First Order down is
Exactly.
the Resistance. And this is the first time we get to hear that theme. Are you a big March of the Resistance guy, Jay? How do we feel about March of the Resistance?
This one's good. I mean, like, I think, you know, I when we talk about, like, you know, the marches of Star Wars, everyone thinks of the Imperial March. I think like
Right.
this isn't like this isn't up there with it. It's close. Like March of the Resistance is good, but everyone, I think Imperial March is better. But you're right though, Luke. This is a really cool moment. I do still remember that scene in theaters, and I think Poe Dameron, like, great introduction for the Resistance, and also like establishing the air superiority of the Resistance and the Rebels. You know, like from this you understand like how important X-wings are in
It's
their army.
You're right. Yeah, it's so insane. Like this, it looks so good with the X-wings, and Poe's is, you know, black and orange, which we've never seen before, and it's like
Yeah.
the water like splashing up because he's so close to the like surface. It's just, I love the Takodana sequence in Force Awakens.
No, the Takodana sequence is fantastic. So I would love, you know, we cannot not play this one, right? We cannot not play this next one. To me, this is the epitome of hype. There is not a single I have never met. Even the people that, you know, grew up with the originals and don't like the prequels as much. I have never met even one of, you know, those people that says no to this question. Does Duel of the Fates get you hyped? Like the answer is and always must be yes, because once the opening sequence hits, it just knocks your freaking socks off. Jay, like, please deliver it unto our ears. Just no words. No words needed.
No notes. Couldn't be better.
No notes. It's just, that's my favorite battle in all of Star Wars maybe, just with the 3 different
Yeah.
battles that are going on, and just the epic. We talked about Darth Maul earlier being the one person that is scared of. Like we cannot go through a Star Wars John Williams talk and not at least talk about Duel of the Fates for a moment. Like we have to. It's just too good. It's too good. I'm okay with deep cuts, but sometimes we must just
You gotta go for
celebrate the
classics.
greatness.
Yeah.
You gotta
Yeah.
just, it's just,
I mean,
it's
if
so
this
good.
isn't on your running playlist, you aren't doing running right.
Running right. I'm trying. When I get into a lull in my homework, I'm like, all right, Duel of the Fates. I'm like I'm a typing wizard at that
Yeah.
point, and it's just of course. So, Luke J, do you have another Star Wars one that you want to play real quick, or should we hit some classics, some other John Williams classics, or can we even do like Across the Stars real fast, like just so I can feel some sadness and
Yeah,
get
let's
in the
go with
state of like
Across the
melancholy real quick, just to
Yeah.
have it wash over me.
I have one as well after we can play after Across the Stars.
Okay, I would love.
And then after,
I'm really curious. I'm going to guess. Don't tell me if I'm right or wrong. I'm just gonna guess what I think you're gonna play. I think you're gonna go with
And I have
Yoda's
another
theme.
deep cut.
Oh, okay. Hang on, Tyler, you're actually close. It's not Yoda's theme, but we'll get to that in a moment because here's
I was
Across
close
the
though.
Stars.
Not
Yeah,
Yoda's
it's
Mibra
theme.
close.
Gascon's theme.
It's what?
Mibra Gascon's theme.
Not John. What does he have a theme? Like, does he have a theme?
He probably doesn't.
I feel like he has to have something. Is this one like to start off? I forget.
Yeah, here we go. It takes a little bit of a while to build
Yeah.
up, but yeah. You just get like this overall like sweep and this overall just like flow, and yeah, I mean you picture like Naboo, you picture them on the fields like playing and falling in love. It's good, it's beautiful, yeah, for sure.
But,
even when
like even interlaced in this is that sense of it's doomed. You know what I mean? Like it's just,
absolutely,
you feel how it's not going to last and it's not going to be okay. You just feel that with the music, the way it sounds, the instruments used, and it just makes you go, this is doomed. This isn't gonna last, but I'm gonna try to soak it in right now for what it is, and try to hold on. It's like you're trying to hold on to this feeling and not let it go, even though you know it's going to have to end at some point.
There's a really cool channel. I want to give a shout out to the channel called Beauty of, that has really it's just a channel dedicated to like the beauty of cinema and like cinematography, and has like these really great compilations of all these different movies, like whether it be like Star Wars. For Star Wars, the guy chose this as the background music to talk about like the beauty of like the cinematography of Star Wars. And it's really cool to have like this track in the background all the while like you actually have like lightsaber fight sequences being showcased, and then you do see like that you are right, like there is this kind of like doom and like this sense of like, okay, there is danger here.
It just speaks to me on such a deep level, and it's ironic. So my girlfriend Janelle is not like a big Star Wars fan at all. Like she's watched all the movies. She really likes the sequels. Like she's would like if a Rey movie came out tomorrow, like that'd be one she'd go see opening night. But like she's never watched an episode of Mando, Grogu, or anything like that. I think Rogue One's actually her favorite movie, but then in terms of saga films, like sequels are her favorites. But she has a playlist that she listens to, and whenever it's like the feels playlist, she wants to be in the feels, and Across the Stars is in the playlist, and she's not like a Star Wars fan. She's just even before like we started dating. It wasn't something that happened after we watched through the Star Wars movies. It was like she just came across that song at one point from the Star Wars, like, oh, it's just a Star Wars song. Okay, whatever. But she used that one. And then whenever we watched through the prequels, and she kind of was like, oh, like that's what this one, like she got like the context even. And so it's just, I think that's the best way to describe it. Put you in the feels. right away.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I'm gonna go ahead. So we have two more. One from me and then one from Luke. Tyler, you were close. For Yoda's theme. I
Yoda's
do because
theme.
Yoda is very close to my heart. But
I
this
knew
one,
that. I knew that. So that's why I was like, I know you love Yoda so much. So I was like, I'm gonna go with Yoda's theme. It felt like a J when he's lifting the X-wing. I was like, that just feels like a J moment in Star Wars. It just it just did. But we're gonna. So what's similar? I'm trying to think of what's similar. You're trying to pick
this
this up.
one. This one is actually like it's really annoying because you can't actually find it on like the official soundtracks, but it's the death of Yoda from episode 6. You know, I think like because not just because it's also not just because it's Yoda, but because also like this was like a really like impactful moment for me as a child when like I kind of like realized like I was witnessing like a character like I really cared about just like die and like it like as a kid like I always watched Star Wars, but then like when I listened to this track it was like it kind of just hit me and it's a really just solemn piece that I really enjoy. So and again it's really kind of also frustrating that they don't actually have this like on any official like soundtracks to my knowledge, at least not on like Spotify or Apple Music. So
I love how it's like meshed in. The Emperor arrives. The death of Yoda.
Yeah.
And Obi-Wan's revelation.
Yeah, this is not
So good.
in the album.
So good. And you're feeling what Luke is feeling in this moment. Like he's lost yet another mentor when he was not ready to lose him, and he feels unprepared for what's to come. And we see that right after when he talks to Obi-Wan. You know what I mean? He's
Exactly.
I can't kill my own. I'm not ready for this. Like the weight of it just feels like a lot. And Luke's a very emotional guy, just kind of like his father, and I think he feels the weight of as far as he knows at this time, Yoda was the only other surviving Jedi, and so he feels alone.
Yeah, exactly, right. And then you have like Obi-Wan coming out of this, like that's literally actually what Luke says too, right? He's like, "Well, that's it, I'm alone." And then Yoda's gone, and then Obi-Wan comes out of the forest, and he's like, "Yoda will never be gone.
He will always be with you." Yeah. No, that's good. I love that. All right, Luke, we got the one more from you. I'm not looking at Luke's comments. I'm going to guess this is going to be prequels. I'm guessing prequels.
Yes, it is prequels.
You brought this up when we were in Attack of the Clones, so I think you're going Attack of the Clones. Like you mentioned, you had one more detail when we were talking.
Correct. Yes.
I'm going to guess though it's something to do with like the Geonosis like battle ring. It's going to be something that's like chaos is happening. Like it's going to be chaotic.
Definitely.
Okay. Am I correct? It's something in the battle realm. In that towards the end of the film. Am I correct?
Certainly action oriented. It is not toward the end of the film of Attack of the Clones. And the reason I'm bringing this certain song up, and I'm sorry, this is super niche, but I've been reading a lot of audiobooks lately, and they seem to use this quite a bit in the audiobooks when there is an action sequence happening.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Actually, doesn't matter what era you're reading. It doesn't matter what era you are reading. They will use this song when there is something action happening.
Really? I'm not like I don't really do like audiobooks really, so I would not know this. I'm very curious now.
Attack of the Clones gave us a track that will just be used for all time.
Zam, they say, "Oh, let's go!" Yes, this is fantastic.
Because there's like someone shredding the guitar in this as well. Like this is one of the most dynamic, insane ones that we have. Actually,
hey, I got the movie right. I'm pretty.
This is a long track too. Like, is there like a specific?
It's a long scene. It's a long scene. Like,
like the 3-minute mark around there.
He wants launching himself through windows, which is hilarious.
Oh yeah, no, this part. I remember this part coming up.
Yeah, because I mean, it just
I did.
Yes, there it
There you
is. Who? I want to find
That-
out who like shredded right there.
That
Find out who it was that shredded right there. That's just insane.
that is perfect. That is the exact point that I was trying to make. Is this song is insane?
This note by Manslayer. Have you noticed that track is exactly used in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets and the Quidditch game? It's the same.
You know what? It's
I did
funny
not know
because
that.
like I was typing it into YouTube right here. Hang on, Zam the Assassin, and then like in the search bar. Let me see. Yeah, here you go. Harry Potter. I was like, what?
What?
I was like at first I was like, why is that a recommendation? And then like I'm glad you cleared that up, Manslayer, because that is funny.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Can we?
You know, I
can we-
never actually like
yeah.
I've never sorry, I never actually listened to
good.
like the full like track before. And so I never actually heard the guitar section there, and that's funny that it's there though. It's so out of place, but at the same time, it also kind of works.
Kind of, yeah, and I don't know. Yeah, it's only because of the audiobooks that I've really realized that they really like that one in the production of those. I don't know.
So can we do a few just epic hits from
Yeah.
John Williams across all of cinema at this point? Because the man has impacted,
Star
you know,
Wars.
so beyond Star Wars. I mean, there's just and
Yes,
we're not
yeah.
I don't want to go, we don't need to go like deep cuts or anything here. But you know, Jay, I think I sent you like a few
Yep.
earlier. So if any one of those to start would be fantastic. There's so many that are like I remember I sent you like I was like trying to do 3 and I said this one for sure, and then these 3 are tied because I cannot pick between any of them. And when you think about it, and then I started thinking I can't even like scratch the surface here because there's others that I'm not even including in this, and there's just count. It's impossible. We could do a whole. That's why they're making a freaking documentary. Like we could do this for hours. I really wonder how many, like how hard it was to cut down on what they've talked about and what they used for the documentary. And
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch what pieces of his music they leave in the documentary to play and have little moments, and how many different ones they include, like little snippets of for just a couple of minutes. Because I would be shocked if it's not, if it's less than like 50. You know what I mean? All right.
Yeah.
I'm ready. My body is ready.
I mean, like we have to include this one, right? I mean, this is the first one you sent me, and I was like, yeah, I mean, no doubt.
Mm-hmm. So good.
I mean, you just smile whenever you hear this, right? You feel good. I remember like my first exposure to Indiana Jones was Disneyland. Like I had never watched the Indiana Jones films prior to going to Disneyland, but when I heard this at the Disneyland theme park on repeat, like like constantly, I was like, I gotta watch this now. You know, it's so fun. You just smile like whenever you hear this come up, right?
Mm-hmm. I love Indiana Jones. I have a very deep connection with the adventure aspect, and Harrison Ford's fantastic. But this, for me, there's certain films and characters that I feel like I bond with, like my father a lot, and Indiana Jones is one of those. I feel like I bond like with my dad, who was the one who introduced me to Indy a long time ago. And then when I did like my rewatch before Indy 5, last year, I fell deeper in love with the franchise, and just I love, and we don't get this as much anymore, of like there's a sense of the good guy's gonna make it out and everything's gonna be okay. And the way that theme hits the Raiders March, it makes you feel like the good guy's gonna win, like he's gonna make it out okay, because there's always that chaos that's going on around him. I will say my favorite, and I said this one, my favorite like composition in all of Indiana Jones, like all 5 movies, is the Miracle of the Ark from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
That's a good one. Yeah.
And it just feels like that first moment where you're on this journey, you know, to find the Ark of the Covenant, and it just was the awe and the wonder, but it packs in like this power punch in there of we are dealing with something beyond reckoning, beyond like our wildest imagination, and you like you know that like and we like and he's discovering like the location and like something big is coming, like something massive is going to happen. And I love that movie so like that is probably one of like there is no other in all of Hollywood history. I'm just gonna say this. That is like the best script and score combination in in history of Hollywood. Like I really believe that. Like there is you can I don't know if you can find me a better just manuscript and score like combination. That's just a perfect movie. It's just a perfectly written movie. It's a perfectly composed movie. The music's fantastic. Any nitpicks that you could possibly have with that are in maybe a few like visuals or whatever. But it's that movie is probably what like top 10 just best movies of all time in
Oh,
my
for sure.
in
Yeah.
my humble, objective, unrivaled opinion on this matter, of course.
Yeah, Indiana Jones completely swept me away. Was it last year that Indy 5 released in this
Yes.
the summer?
23.
Yes.
Yeah.
23. Because we watched it together. No, we didn't watch this together. No, we did not.
No, but we kind of went on that journey. You were doing your rewatch, and I was watching
Mhm.
all of Indiana Jones for the first time in the weeks, like the 4 or 5 weeks before the movie came out, because I really
Mhm.
wanted to see it. It's the last time he's going to be Indy. So yeah, I fell in love with Indiana Jones franchise and therefore found a much deeper appreciation for John Williams.
Mhm.
Having only really fallen in love with him for Star Wars, I now have an even deeper relationship or fondness for his work. So he killed it with Indiana Jones as well,
Mhm.
as he always does with every project he's on.
Let's jump to unless you have another indie one, Jay. Let's jump to the second one that I sent you, which Steven Spielberg has called the most important film that he ever
Ah,
made. And if Steven Spielberg was saying that, I believe, and now this is me paraphrasing and going off of some memory, but I believe in that same interview that I read, or it was at least an interview around to this movie, he not only said this was like the most important movie this ever made, but he knew if he was going to make this movie, he had to get John Williams to compose the score for this movie. Like he felt like it would not be able to be as important as it needed to be and as profound as it needed to be without him. And I think that definitely holds true. And it's the main theme from Schindler's List, which is probably in my opinion it's one of like best movies is ever made, like 3, 4, 5 best movies ever made. There it is. So like with this one, and similarly to very different, but similarly to Across the Stars, where you know with Across the Stars, you're like given that feeling of like I want to stay in this moment, like I really want to stay here, even though I know it's not going to last. But with this one, the way it feels is a similar like point of view, but very much more somber. Like that one is like I want to stay in this moment, it's not going to last. This one was you know, the worst thing has happened and we're reflecting on that and we're sitting in this moment and we're like forcing ourselves to sit in this moment because we have to remember what happened and we're watching this unfold. And I think John Williams did a great job of hitting the perfect tone for what this movie like needed, like that it sets the stage for exactly what this movie is. And as Steven like Spielberg would say, like this was the most important movie that he ever made. And he's absolutely correct in terms of like what this movie represents, and the score of that movie just absolutely matches, I think, exactly what Spielberg was hoping for with this film. And I don't know, have you guys seen Schindler's List? Like, is that like, have you guys seen it? If not, like you
Yes.
it's a must watch for sure.
Yeah. I mean, we watched it in high school, I believe.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was early introduction to things that are not good in the world.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's very gripping. Just the film itself, but also when you put John Williams' very emotional score to it, it just takes it to another level that makes
Mhm.
it, like you said, I mean, possibly just in that upper echelon of one of the top movies ever to be put
Mhm.
on the screen. Like, it's just it's just wrenching.
Mhm. It's when you hear that music, you cannot help but sit and just be like in like contemplative. Like you just sit and you're contemplative, and sometimes maybe you're not even thinking about anything in particular, but you're just, in the moment. You just sit in that moment and just stay there for however long you need to. And that's one of those films. There's not a lot of them, but there's some of them where you watch it and you get out, and I hear like that music like in my head without it playing. And there's times where I might go back there and I think about it, and you sit and you meditate on that thought for a minute, and the music just sits there. And so, yeah, it's just I feel like if you talk about John Williams, we have to include that one.
Yeah.
Jay,
Mm.
you've have you seen Schindler's? Like, I know we didn't get your thoughts on Schindler's there.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I haven't actually seen Schindler's List. I mean, like, I know, like, I've
Mhm.
I've tried to watch it, but like, there's some movies where it's just like it's really hard to like
Yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
emotionally prepared for it. Granted, like like I am like a big hit. I minored in history, and like World War II and World War I. I love like studying these periods, and I've seen like other like Holocaust movies, like The Pianist, and then
Yes.
it's just always really tough like to watch it. Like I want to get around to watching it, but then like I never like have had like just like the right state of mind, because you do
It
have to go into
requires
like
like
those.
you have to go in
Yeah,
like mentally
mentally
fortified
prepared.
for
Yeah.
sure. Hmm.
So for sure, like I'll get around to it. For like I
Hmm.
want to get around to it. It's like you guys said, it is almost like necessary reading.
Right.
Like it's like
It's
in high school you have to read like like in high school you have to read Of Mice and Men. You know,
mm, mhm.
um, so I think eventually I will get around to it. But yeah, like
It's
it,
it's
it
not
hits
like
you.
indie, where you just flip
Yeah,
it on as the
yeah,
background movie on a Friday night when you're tired and exasperated from the week, like you just need to relax. It's like a sit down, like we're about to, it's like you said, it's like a due diligence homework. Like
exactly.
you
Yeah.
need to experience that kind of movie. So now that one needed to be said. There's a couple more. Let's get to a couple more. These will be a little more, obviously, like a little more lighthearted, but maybe this one will ring true. Can we have, and we'll get out of here really quickly, but can we have some Hedwig's theme? I'm wearing my Harry Potter attire for Halloween this evening. Maybe we can go out on a little like Hedwig's theme here and round this out. And obviously we could talk about Jurassic Park. We could talk about Home Alone, but Hedwig's theme, the magic of Harry Potter, and the feeling of what it was like maybe to be on the boats as a first year, going to Hogwarts, seeing the castle for the first time, taking it all in. And it's just completely encapsulated by John Williams here. Just
Man,
And then the way it just builds like very slowly throughout, like it just feels magical is the only way to describe it. I hate saying that because it feels cliche to say for Harry Potter, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it is really one of those, sometimes that's like all you can do is just give that little cliche or just give that, because it just does justice. And anytime I hear that, I think of how I felt when I read Harry Potter for the first time and I'm experiencing this world, or when I'm watching the movies as a kid and they're on the boats and they see the castle for the first time and you see it right there, or even as an adult when I'm going to Universal for the first time and I see the castle that they built at Universal Studios and I feel like I'm 9, 10, 11 years old again, excited to try to wish that I could go to Hogwarts as a kid and be in this magical environment. And this absolutely encapsulates that feeling as a major Potter nerd.
Potter.
Are you guys like Potter heads? Like, are you guys Harry Potter people, like nerds? Did you go through a Harry Potter phase?
I haven't read the books, but I've watched all the movies once.
Get out of here.
And I can say that I enjoyed
Get
them
outta
quite
here.
a bit. So
You've read every
liked
High
Harry
Republic
Potter.
novel 3 times, but you can't get around to Harry Potter.
Correct.
You read Escape from Gallows. You've read Test of Courage twice, but we can't read Harry Potter once. Come on.
Thank you, Justina Ireland, for providing us that content. But no, I do enjoy the movies. I think I will get around to the books when the High Republic ends sometime. I've also got Lord of the Rings, Dune, and Game of Thrones that I'm going to be reading as well. So Harry Potter will slip in there as well.
No, skip Lord of the Rings and Doom for like you don't need those first.
I will not be skipping Dune.
Harry Potter is better than Dune. I'm sorry, it just is.
Woo! It is.
What do you mean woo? That's lock that in. Lock that in.
Dune is better.
How do you know? You haven't read either one. You're gonna lecture me on what's better?
Yes, I am. And I haven't read either one. And I will do that.
It's like that pisses me off so much. You have no idea. You know it does too. Like
I know, yeah.
I'm not a big Tolkien guy. I've read a lot of Tolkien. In terms of like Lord of the Rings stuff, like I've read a lot of Tolkien. Not a huge fan necessarily. I love the world building in Tolkien. I just don't. The writing is not my preferred style. Was it George Herbert or whatever for Dune? Dune's fine. Like
Frank
I like
Herbert.
Dune. Okay,
George.
like Frank Herbert. What did I say? George?
Yeah.
Who's George?
Who are you talking about?
Frank Herbert. We're talking about the guy who wrote Dune. Frank Herbert.
Oh, Frank Herbert. Yeah, sorry.
So okay, like Dune's fine. Harry Potter's just it's just superior. I love it. Okay, fantastic. Any final ones before we could go on a Dune, Tolkien?
I have a fun one.
George
for you
R.
guys.
Martin.
I'm here all night. Luke and I got to record a 7-minute timeline show after this, but not that big a deal.
Let's go with just one.
The Jurassic
more.
Park theme is so good.
Jurassic Park is really good. I want to play that one, but like if there's one more that I think
we could do 2. We'll just play Jurassic Park real quick. We got to like squeeze it in.
Okay.
Everyone's like,
yeah.
I
think we have time to squeeze that one. So let me go ahead and get. Here we are. Present, share screen. Here we are.
What do we got? What do you got cooking? Oh, we're doing Jurassic Park first. I thought you had. We were going with your deep cut first, but yes, let's.
Well,
let's
my
hit
one
Jurassic
isn't even
Park.
the one that I was gonna select. Isn't even really like a deep cut.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
well, I mean, like if we're talking outside of like like Star Wars, there is like some pretty iconic ones too, right?
Oh
Here it
yeah,
is.
like E.T.
This
We
is-
haven't even talked about E.T.
Oh, E.T. is a good one. Yeah. The way it swells, right? The slow build up, really good, right? And then the wonder, I think Jurassic Park. This theme is really great too.
This right here is kind of crazy how this, I think, like the idea of dinosaurs is always something that's like really impactful and brings a lot of people in. But I think this music is literally the number one reason. This song right here is the number one reason that we have what 4 Jurassic Park movies and 3 Jurassic World movies, or there's like
3
6 or
Jurassic
7
Yeah, 3 Jurassic Park movies, and then
3 Jurassic
3
Worlds
Jurassic World movies.
with
Yeah.
a new one coming out next summer. Like, because we have the next Jurassic movie
Jurassic
coming out next summer.
Universe on the way.
I can't wait, and I can't
Jurassic
freaking
Galaxy.
wait. And I haven't really enjoyed the last, like, I don't think the last 6 movies I've seen have been very good since Jurassic Park, but that I've watched that haven't been very good. But I watch every one and I get hyped for all of them because it's dinos. I love dinos, and I love that this world that we have. And I don't think that there would be all these movies without that one piece of music. I think that one piece of music, like one of my friends, popular thing to play, played it at his wedding. Like played that at his wedding as we walked down as grooms. I will say, I was like, when I heard they were making their Jurassic movie, my first thought was like, oh my gosh. But then I was like, oh, Scarlett Johansson? Okay, I'm in. And then what is it? Ali's in the movie as well.
Marshall
And I'm
Ali,
like,
yeah.
I'm in. I'll be there. I'll be in the seat. It's very interesting. Next summer, you have Superman, Jurassic World, whatever they're calling it, and Fantastic Four all come out within like 5 weeks of each other. I think it's like 5 or 6 weeks of each other. They all come out. One of those movies is flopping. One of those movies.
I'll tell you what,
flop
it's not. I don't think it's gonna be Superman or Fantastic Four. I will be real.
I would disagree. I don't think it's Jurassic. I think that's the one that's the safest.
You're kidding me? Nah.
Because the other 2 are both superhero movies. Like, it's the same genre. Like, people will like take their kids to go watch a dino movie because it's dino. Like, the last Jurassic movie sucked. It made it's like one of the 10 highest grossing movies of all time. And it's just a dino. Scarlett Johansson's a big draw. Like, I feel like Jurassic is going to make it, and then one of those superhero movies is not going to do as well as they would like. That's what I think. Is just one of those superhero movies is not going to do the numbers. I think I'm worried that it's Superman, because
I
just
highly
feel like
disagree.
Fantastic.
But
I hope it's Superman. I just think that when you sandwich that in, like, you have like family. I think about like what families are going to be going to the movies, and maybe families can only afford to go to 1 or 2 movies. And I feel like they're not going to go to 2 superheroes. I think they're going to like pick a dino in there as well. Like a one dino,
that's why they're
one
going
super.
to 65 Part 2. Dino movie. Let's go. Adam Driver's back.
I forgot about that movie, dude. Like, I literally erased that.
Because
I liked it. I liked it.
I did like it. I just watched it for the first time like 2 months ago or something.
It wasn't like amazing or anything, but I thought it was just fun. Like, it was fun to go watch Adam Driver run around in like a futuristic sci-fi like dino movie. Like, I don't know, like he's shooting like plasma charges at a dinosaur. I can rock with that for 90 minutes and then be out and never watch. Like, I'll never think about that movie again, but it's just a fun little popcorn flick for a little bit. I love that. But I think that's going to be fun. We'll have to be monitoring that. We'll have to place some bets on which one of those, because I think one of those 3 is going to really disappoint, because that's like too many big blockbusters right next to each other that like people aren't going to, the way that it is nowadays, like people aren't going to go see all 3. Yeah. I'm just glad Mission Impossible is in Memorial Day weekend, the first one in May, so that way everyone can go see Mission Impossible, because that movie's going to be the best out of all 4 of them by far. It won't even be close.
Well, okay, so to end we're not gonna end the stream with the victory celebration / end titles. Even though I do agree with you, I do agree with you, Manslayer. I think that the new version is much better than Yub Nub. It's much more fitting.
Yub Nub.
I mean, like, I like Yub Nub, but like,
no, you don't. Don't lie. Don't lie to us right now. Don't lie to us. We know you don't like Yub Nub.
I was gonna end with this one. Speaking of Superman, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
like this is the ultimate superhero theme, right? Like I can't think of
Has to
like
be.
any other. I can't think of any other one that like comes close to being like the iconic superhero theme, besides maybe
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Danny Elfman in the 1989 Batman. But this one is not right up.
Okay.
Like this is it though, right? Come on.
This one's number one.
Yeah.
The only thing I could think of that could rival it today would be like the Avengers theme of like them
Sure.
all getting together, just like with the culmination of like the MCU and
Yeah.
Endgame and Infinity War. Like I think if you asked a bunch of people under the age of 30 what the most iconic
Yeah.
superhero track is, they probably would lean towards that. But I'm with you. This is it.
It's-
Like this
it's-
is it.
It's the hopefulness, it's the usefulness of Superman, it's the optimism. Like, like when you think of like the up and away guy, the hero that's always gonna do right. This is what you imagine, right? So
I hope the Superman movie in next summer, I think it comes out in July or the very end of June. I hope it's awesome. Like I'm
too.
I'm craving a good superhero. Like I really hope the DC stuff takes off. Like I really do. I'm excited. I love that they're doing like DCU stories and then like their non-DCU stories still, so we can still have like Robert Pattinson Batman stories that aren't not everything needs to be so interconnected. Like I like that. But have you seen the Christopher Reeve documentary that they made?
No, I want to watch it though, like because
Yeah,
it
I
looks
haven't
really
been
touching.
able to. I haven't been able to see it yet either, and
Yeah.
that's definitely on my list. Like I really
Yeah.
want to watch that. But no, are they able to use that theme for like the new Superman movie, or is it like they're gonna come up with something brand new, or are they allowed to like or at least keep some of the main beats to keep it familiar as like something that I think they change these things for the different ones, but it'd be nice if they brought some elements of that back, but I just don't know what they're legally allowed to do in regards to some of that too.
I think they can because it's Warner Brothers, but at the same time, like I kind of just like with just like even the Batman movies, you kind of want a different theme with every single version, right? With every single iteration,
right?
So
I don't know. I don't know. Christopher Reeve documentary coming out. I just want that. I guess that's like his, and it's so iconic to him. I would love to see that again, like in a modern day Superman 2, or at least like a playoff of it, like a playoff of it. So Manslayer asked real quick, faves from The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. I don't really have a fave from The Last Jedi, just because I think that of all 9 saga films, I think that one is, I'll be honest, I think it's the one that doesn't really have any standouts. Like I don't think they're like, not to say any standouts, but there's not like one that just jumps out at me. If I had to pick one, and I'm blanking, you guys tell me if you think of it. What's the music? Which one is it when Rey is lifting the rocks? Like when Rey's lifting the rocks in Last Jedi. Like that's like what I would use. Yeah, the spark. Like that's what I would use because I just love that moment. And that's my favorite moment in the sequel trilogy is when it pans out, I will not be the last Jedi, and the music swells on Rey and the rocks are all lifted. That's my favorite shot in all of the sequels. Like that's my favorite one in all the sequels. So I guess we could throw the spark in there for sure.
And I would maybe say the 5 years
from
The Last Jedi for me.
If we're going, if we're going, what's it? Rise of Skywalker. Hang on, let me see if I can find it. Because
Rise of Skywalker's, I think for me, I just pulled up my Star Wars list because I have like my favorites on my playlist, and I have The Force is with You as one, and We Go Together like are the two that I kind of have. So I like both of those.
this is a new home from the Rise of Skywalker, and you know, like talking about like the intermixing of like, you know, going back to Rey's theme. This one's also like a good, like I feel like this is like a good conclusion, like for Rey, right? But yeah, no, I think we can go on and on about this all night.
So good.
Yeah.
Well, Jay, thanks for manning the guns there.
My pleasure.
On the other side, really appreciate that. Thank you, Luke, for popping in with some of the deeper cuts. I can't believe you threw out the Coruscant chase from Attack of the Clones. Like that's fantastic.
Zam Wessel.
I love whenever we can get some Zam Wessel, you know, here. Everyone, thanks for joining Star Wars Newsnet Live every Thursday night at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. Happy Halloween, everyone. You can join Luke and I every Saturday for the Star Wars Timeline show. Make sure you check that out. We are going through every single piece of canon material in Star Wars. This week, we're going to be talking about the 5 and 6 year olds young Great Jedi Rescue by Kevin Scott, which we'll talk about. Actually, it'll be like an 8-minute discussion, but we'll be talking about it'll be a really short mini pod. It'll be like a 10-minute pod. Like, it's gonna be so quick. But Luke and I probably drag it out way longer than it needs to be because we get emotional talking about Starlight Beacon and Republic. If you did not listen to the Monday pod yet, you should, because it's a very interesting conversation that Miguel and I have about his list of possible writers for the new Rey movie that he came up with. And I'll just drop a few of them here. He gave a few Star Wars people. He threw out Michael Arndt, who was with Lucasfilm before Disney takeover and was supposedly like he had 3 like sequel movies written, like a whole narrative put together for those 3. And so, you know, could it be possible they bring him back? We talk about that. Sean Levy is supposedly working on Star Wars, is his next project. It's rumored that it was tied to Rey. Could he be someone that, you know, they bring in to write this thing? We talked about some dream scenarios like Chris McQuarrie, you know, who is the action god, as Miguel calls him. We talked about dream scenario, Jesse Armstrong, Jim Carragher. So we have a lot of people that we talked about. Then we mentioned like a total of 12 people in the podcast, and we kind of hung in on those 4 and then a few more wild cards that I think you'll enjoy. So absolutely tune into that, because I think you'll enjoy it. Miguel is really good at the deep dives and diving into like the histories of some of these people and what makes them stand out. So I really want to plug that because it was really fun. You can always check out Star Wars Newsnet for all of the Star Wars updates, everything that you need. We are constantly updating you on everything going on in the Star Wars galaxy. But Jay, take it away real quick before we get out of here as well. I know you should be able to talk about some good games, dude.
Yes. So Good Games Dude is my YouTube channel that I have. So it's a YouTube channel that just is a good place for beginners, intermediate, and expert longtime gamers to just grow in their appreciation of video games. So feel free to check out my content, especially my most popular stuff being the gaming essentials. So whether you're new to games or whether you've been playing again for a long time and want to rediscover some classics or some hits that you never realized were that great, feel free to check out my channel, Good Games Dude. And I will be having a new video coming up soon, and next week. So yeah, that's my YouTube channel.
Awesome. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Luke. We will see you all next week for Light and Life, everyone. Remember, everyone, it's very important now. Especially election in the US is on Tuesday. Remember, everyone, we are all the Republic.